record stuff? Okay, if you have a $1,000 mortgage payment and we talk about the amount that goes towards your principal. So remember, in a payment, a chunk always goes to the principal and a chunk always goes to the bank, which is called the interest. So at the start of the mortgage, what do you think would be a ratio? How many dollars would be on your principal and versus how many dollars do you think would be on your interest? Just an estimate. What do you think would be a good... What do you think? At the start of your mortgage, how much of your $1,000 is going to your mortgage? What do you think? Maybe like 400 and the bank is collecting 600 or whatever, 500. But at the end of the mortgage, what do you think is happening? What's happening to the ratio? Switching around. So at the near the end, you might be getting like a point where it's more like 800 on your principal and then 200 on the bank interest. Okay? So remember the concept. At the start of the mortgage, when you look at your payment, you're paying a lot of interest. But by the end, you're paying more to the principal and less interest, right? Okay, pros, cons. What are some good things about buying a house? Equity. Well, that's the biggest, right? What else is good about buying? You can do what you want. Like paint, right? So those are some good things. What are some bad things about buying a house, maybe? Is there anything bad about buying a house? Can you think of something bad about buying a house? What's that? Yeah, you have more costs per month. You have all those other things you got to pay for. Do you not have this paper? I don't have it. You should have it, and it should be green. If not, I'll just give you this, but what else is a bad thing? You need more money up front, right? And like a large amount. Another bad thing would be unwanted expenses. So this is bad if you are a person who lives on a very tight budget, budget to budget. Okay, can I just give you this when I'm done? Is that okay? Okay, renting. What's something good about renting? You found it? Okay. Easy to budget. Okay, you just usually have like your monthly is usually the consistent, right? You don't have something unexpected in there. What else is good? It's easier to move, right? You just kind of say, I'm leaving in a month, and then you just leave. You don't have to worry about anything. What's bad? You don't build equity, right? You're putting all this money into it, and it's not going towards anything. You can't make changes. Okay, so be ready to talk about some of those things on your test. Okay, number 3. Greg took out a $28,000 loan. He will have regular monthly payments of $600. The bank charges 4.2 interest, compounded semi-annually. Okay, so $28,000 is the previous. Regular monthly payments, so monthly negative $600, payments per year is 12. 4.2 is the interest, compounds semi-annually, so 2. The future is 0. So how many payments do I have to make? Do you guys always realize that when you do the PYCY, it changes automatically to whatever you push in? So if you change this, it changes that. So make sure that you adjust it all the time. Did anybody else get almost 51? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so 51 payments. What is the interest the bank will get? Okay, so let's see how much money we spent. How do I figure out how much money it's cost me? So I'm going to do the N times 600, because I paid $600 almost 51 times. Okay, but I'm not doing 51. I'm doing the N. So I'm doing it right on my home screen. N. Okay, so it's on there. So that many times 600. 30,598. Did we get that? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's how much I spent. And then I'm going to subtract what I should have spent. So I should have only cost me that, but it costed me extra because obviously the bank is taking that extra. Okay, so what you ended up at minus what you should have started at, that's how you get your interest, right? Okay, good. So we know how to get interest. Okay, you purchase furniture for $4,500, finance it through the store. They charge 18.6 compounded daily. So I'm going to put those in already. 18.6 compounded daily. What's the number on that? 365. They also offer 2.5% cash back. Okay, so how much money are they going to offer me in store when I buy this thing? So can you times that together? Obviously as a decimal, right? Okay, so they gave me this cash back right on the day one in the store. They gave me that back. Okay, ready? What's my new previous value now? So now that tells me my previous value. I only have to pay a loan on this because the furniture store paid a little bit of the furniture for me, is what it's kind of saying. So the furniture store is saying, hey, we're going to pay a little bit of the price for you. Okay, what else do we got here? You're making monthly payments of $200. And we're obviously going to try to get this thing down to 0. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have to solve for an n again. $27? Anybody? So you're making payments on this furniture for over 2 years, right? Okay, so how much will this furniture cost you? So we do the n times 200 because we make payments of 200 and we do that 27 times. So that's how much the furniture is going to cost us. Number 5, you can buy a car for $16,700. You can put a down payment of $2,000 on it. Okay, so what am I going to be financing this loan for? How much loan do I need? $14,700. Okay, because I already knocked the price down by $2,000. So I'm going to finance this remaining through the dealership. 4.6% compounded monthly. You make regular payments for 4 years. It didn't say monthly, but I'm gonna regular monthly payments for 4 years. Okay, so what do I need as my n now? 4 times 12, right? Zero is the future. So what's the payment that you're going to be putting on this car every month? $335? Okay. $335.87 is your monthly car payment. Okay, let's figure out our costs. Okay, so this payment, right, or I'm not going to use that number, I'm going to use my calculator, payment. I made that payment 12 times a year for 4 years. So that's what I'm going to do first. The payment times 12 times 4. You're always going to have a negative in there, right? Okay, so 16 grand, 121.93. Is that all you've spent? What else has left your pocket? You also have spent $2,000 out of your pocket, right? So altogether, you've spent $18,000. Okay, so that's all the money that has gone out of my pocket. But at the end of the 4 years, you actually sell your car. So you're going to be collecting some money back into your pocket, right? It depreciated 20% per year. Okay, so the car started at $1,670. What's the multiplier if it has depreciated by 20%? 0.8 per year over 4 years. So I need to do that exponent. So how much is my car worth? So in 4 years, you sell your car for that. Okay, so this money was out of my pocket. This money came back into my pocket. So I'm going to subtract them. Okay, so that is my overall cost. That makes sense? This was out of my pocket. This came back into my pocket. So that's how much it actually cost me. Okay. You mortgage a house, $322, interest compounded monthly. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to compare making monthly payments or weekly payments on this house. Okay, so both situations are going to have a starting of that. Both situations are getting 0 down. Both situations are 2.9 interest. And both situations are compounded monthly. Okay, so we're going to now change the situation. On situation number 1, we're going to make monthly payments. So payments per year is 12, which means the N is going to be 25 times 12. Okay, does that make sense? Monthly payments for 25 years. Okay, so let's get the payment. How many dollars does it cost? $1,510 a month? Anybody getting something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get the cost. So how much will I have spent on this house? So I did this payment. How many times did you do that payment for? $12 times a year times 25 years you made that payment, right? So finance, get your payment on your screen. Times 12 times 25. $453 and change. Okay, let's figure out what it does to change your mortgage. If you make weekly payments. Okay, so weekly, how many payments per year would we do? 52. So now my N is going to be 52 times 25. 52 payments per year for 25 years. You're making a lot of payments. Okay, keep everything else the same. So those were really the only things that changed, right? $813.45. Is that what you guys are getting?
That's 300 something. I think I said something.
Oh, I forgot to change to 52. I'm like, that seems like a lot of money. Okay, forget my number. 348?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, that's a lot of money per month or per week. 348.20. Right? Is that good? Okay. So how much is this going to cost me? So we're going to make that payment. What are we doing with that payment? We're doing it 52 times a year for 25 years.
For some reason, I didn't get 348 for the payments.
Go back and double check. What do you got?
I got for
1,300?
What?
Does this read 1,300?
Well, why didn't I get that?
624. Because I did 52 times 12.
52 times 25.
Oh,
That's right, yeah.
I had like 452, 793.19. You got 65.
On your final,
Yeah,
you had something different.
yeah. The first three
Did
pages-
it? What do you got? Something different than me? Are we the same?
A little bit different.
A little bit different.
Because my back three digits is not the same.
What is going on? Anybody match me?
So there's a
Yeah.
You did match me exactly?
I didn't try it, but
Yeah, I would-
should.
Oh, well, if you didn't try it, how can you match me?
Yeah, we're just.
Okay, what am I doing here? 52 times 25. 2.9. That. 52 and 12, right?
My payment wasn't the same as yours.
It's not?
Mine was 348.3024.
Okay, well, what's going on? Check. Do you have the same? 1,300, 2.9, 322,000, 0, 52.
I had 52 twice. It's like when you go
Oh,
down,
compounds.
it-
Yes, it changes. I told you, it changes automatically. So then you have to make sure. As soon as you change the 52, your calculator also does the other one. So that's why you're off a little bit. Okay, so what do you know? The more often you make a payment, what?
Better.
The better. It'll cost you less in the long run. Okay? More often you make payments, it should be a cheaper cost to you. Okay? If I ever say semi-monthly, how many times per year would you put?
2012.
What'd you say?
2012.
2012? What? 24. 24. If I say bi-weekly,
26.
26.
Wait, what?
Bi-weekly
Oh, yeah.
means
Yeah, yeah.
every other week.
Oh,
But semi-monthly just means twice in a month. Okay, those words are good? Semi means do it twice in whatever, like semi-annually, twice a year, semi-monthly, twice a month. Okay, you buy a house for $275, you put 15% payment on this house. Okay, let's just do that right away. Can you times that? 15%. Okay, 41,250 is your down payment. So that's what I said, when you buy a house, what's a disadvantage? You need large amounts of money to start. Okay, what do I need to mortgage with the bank? So how much money do I need to borrow from the bank? So I'm going to subtract. So I still need the bank to help me out, right? I can't pay the whole thing by myself, so the bank is going to help me with that much. Okay, your mortgage has 20 years, 3.1 compounded monthly. You make regular semi-monthly payments. Okay, so 3.1% compounded monthly. Interest compounds. You make regular, ready? Semi-monthly payments. What are we putting? 24. Twice a month.
Okay,
Semi-
bi-weekly is every other.
Bi-weekly is every other week,
Okay.
which is 26.
Does bi-monthly pay?
Bi-monthly would be 6. Because bi-monthly would mean every other month.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, it's hard to,
I
Yeah.
feel like buy, you just divide them, but.
buy, when you bisect something, bisect, it cuts it in half. There you go.
Yeah.
Semi, because you know semi-annually.
Yeah.
So then you think twice a year.
Yeah.
So semi-monthly, twice a month. That's how I remember it. Okay, what are we going to put for N? 24 times a year for 20 years. Does that make sense? 24 times a year over 20 years. Previous value is at 233. Future is 0. Payments is question. Don't forget, your thing changes at the bottom. So okay, so that's my payment. Don't forget, you would end up having to do that twice every month, right? So you would probably do it on a January 15th and a January 31st. You would make that payment and then that payment. After 15 years, what's left on your mortgage? Okay. So we're going to go back into our calculator here. We're keeping everything the same. The 3.1 is the same. We started at that. We are making these payments $24 and $12 stay. Okay, so here's what I want. I want to know what's left on my mortgage after I have made payments for 15 years. So if I am making these payments for 15 years, what did I reduce this down to? Am I making sense the way I'm saying it? Okay. So changing your N and answering your future. Okay. What's the cost out of your pocket? How much money have you given out of your pocket here? So we've paid a payment for 15 years. How many times will we times that by? If we made that payment, what? 24 times a year for 15 years. We did that payment 24 times every year for 15 years. What else has left my pocket?
Down payment.
The $41,250. All that money has gone out of my pocket. So go back to your home screen, payment. How's our number looking? We've spent this much money?
Yep.
Okay. How much is your house worth today? Okay, so when we started, our house was a $275,000. What happened to our house? It appreciated 1.7% every year. So what's my multiplier here if it's appreciating?
1.017.
1.017, because it's 1 plus that. And it appreciated every year for 15 years. So how much is my house worth? Okay, at the bottom here, let's talk about how much you pocket. How much money do you pocket when you sell your house? So, the house sold for this, but do I get to keep it all? Nope. What do I have to do? I still have to pay the bank. We wrote this down, right? Do you see it? I still have to pay the bank what was left on my loan. So after I've paid the bank back, how much money do I get to keep? Okay, so this is our conclusion here. We figured out we get to keep this much money, pocket, and all the money that's left out of our pocket. So what's going on here? We've actually gained money. Over the 15 years, we're actually ahead money versus behind. So when I say what's the actual cost, you actually have like a negative cost, right? You actually have a gain of what? Whatever the difference is, right? Not bad. I wonder how often that happens. By the way, when you sell your house, you're probably going to have to pay more money in commission and lawyer fees, so you actually don't get to keep a lot of that. You're probably going to be paying the realtor like $8,000, and you're probably going to be paying the lawyer probably also like $8,000. So it's not all just fun and games, I guess, right? Okay, last question. I think this is an approval one. Thomas wanted to apply for a loan, so he went to the bank to see if they're going to give him the money or not. The house was valued at that, mortgage that. Here's his savings, his loans, and credit card. Okay, so where's our formula sheet? That one. So looking at this info, which one am I going to probably be doing? Debt to equity or gross? Which two formulas, which one would I pick given the information that I was given? Debt to equity.
Why did you do that? Is it because it didn't say anything about gross?
Because it told me things that he has as assets and liabilities. It hasn't given me anything about monthly payments or property taxes or heating. So then I know which question I'm tackling. Okay, so let's figure out his assets and his liabilities. Okay, so a house is valued, is that an asset or a liability? It's an asset. So 320 is an asset. You still have 190 left on your mortgage, so that is a liability. 21 grand in your savings, asset. Student loans, 28. He also owes 12 on his credit card. Okay, so let's total up these columns here. Yeah. You don't have one of these sheets?
Yesterday?
What's that?
You gave us this yesterday?
No, this is still, is it not in your booklet?
In the booklet too, but,
Like it was just the next question in your booklet that I was just doing.
well, I need the formula sheet.
Oh, the formula sheet. This is just the one I gave you at the start of the year. It'd be bright yellow.
Okay.
I'll give you them on the test, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, let's figure out the net worth. How much you're worth is your assets minus your liabilities. So assets minus liabilities, you're worth $111,000. Okay. Ready? formula, liabilities. So we had 230,000 of liabilities minus the portion that's your mortgage. So what's the mortgage? That's the 190. Divided by the net worth. So that was the 111. Okay, so get me a percent on that. Up or down? Like this?
Yeah.
Anybody get that number? 36%? Okay. So what do you conclude? Is the bank going to give them the loan?
Yep.
Yes, why?
It's less than 50.
It's less than 50%, so they're gonna get approved.